insane lead gen for YouTube. If you're not getting leads from YouTube, this is the video that you want to check out. Sales Ascender, Chris here. Hey, you're back for another spotlight, and today's guest is going to lead us to the promised land of more ideal leads by using YouTube. If you're not using YouTube right now, this is the place you want to be. If you are, there's some holes that you're missing, and you want to check this out. This is exactly why we brought on fellow Sales Ascender, Theresa Hemsath. She's the co-founder of the Video Marketing School. She's co-hosting here. She's co-hosting there. She's in part of multiple shows. They have plenty of clients. They're doing consulting on this. This is her world. And so she's serving mission-driven CEOs, which I know all of us are here. We're solving real problems for real people. I'm so excited about the insight that she's going to bring today. So, Theresa, thank you for coming out and hanging out with us.
Great to be here. Thank you.
I think I saw this somewhere. It's randomly coming. You recently moved to Utah.
Yes, from San Diego, California.
You left San Diego. Well, that's if San Diego wasn't in California, I don't know if that's part of it, but there's so many people moving from California right now.
Yes, we were definitely part of the great Cal exit. You know, I'm thankful that it's still close enough. I can go there on vacation when I need my beach fix. But we're very excited to be a part of Utah.
Right on. So let's do this. I'd love to hear kind of how you guys got into YouTube. We'll do a little brief background, and then we'll get into some more of the tactical, lead gen secrets that you have prepared for us around YouTube. So what brought you guys into YouTube as fellow business owners?
Sure. Well, it started with my husband back in like 2009. I was working full time as a public school, high school English teacher, and he was in school getting his degree in media. And, he wanted to bring in some money into the household as well. So he started going door to door to businesses with his video camera in his hand and said, for $25, I'll make a 1-minute video for your business. And
yes,
that's what happened. So he started going door to door. People started asking, well, what do we do with this video? We'd heard about this platform called YouTube. It wasn't really big at the time. And so he was posting their videos onto YouTube where people could hopefully find them on search. And then the questions started coming. What other types of videos can I do? Can I use this on my website? Can I do this? Can I do that? And so it sent him into this world of just trying to learn this platform and how to use video with lead generation, with your websites and so forth. And so he started creating YouTube content, sharing what he was learning. I'm telling you, 2:00 in the morning in our son's bedroom, dirty Walmart t-shirt, just kind of sharing what he could because he was in school all day. And then the strangest thing started happening. He started getting phone calls. He started getting emails. People and he goes back to these YouTube videos that he had created, and he was just sending these videos over to these clients that he was getting, and it was racking up a lot of views. So then we started seeing, wow, like YouTube could be a really great place to actually just grow your business just in the YouTube platform itself, not just in teaching clients how to do things. So that launched him into a whole world of consulting and so forth. And we got to a place in 2017 where, he was a one-man show, and he kind of reached his limit in what he was capable of doing on his own in the business. There's only so far you can go with one-on-one consulting and videography and so forth. So at that time, we decided that I needed to resign from teaching and jump the gun and jump into the business with him and really play that secondary role that I think we thought would really scale the business. And indeed, it was the best decision that we could make. Within 6 months of me quitting, we were able to bring back my revenue as a well-paid California public school teacher. I know teachers get a lot of bad rap for their pay, but California pays pretty decent. And I've been 13 years deep. Like I'd racked up some.
You built up a little bit.
Yeah. So we were able to bring back that. It was $80K salary that I was making as a teacher. So we were able to bring that back in revenue within 6 months, just with what we were able to build out. So we built out the video marketing school, and that was our way of being able to now coach much more people, because it was through a course site. Yep. And then we've gone from there. Now we've moved into we have some great group programs for small groups that really want more attention. We still do a little bit of one-on-one consulting and some agency level work, but most of it is really our group coaching and our membership site.
That's awesome. So that, again, bulk of the revenue coming from membership site consulting, those services, those programs that you're providing. I'm always curious, like revenue on YouTube, like AdSense, or like how, is there any, how, like, a small percentage, or how does that piece work?
You can certainly get your channel big enough where you're racking up so many views and so much watch time that you could make a living just with creating the content itself. Channels that do that tend to be a much wider niche, and it's a lot more content for the masses. You do that, and yes, your channel can potentially be huge. I mean, we were just at ClamorCon a couple of weeks ago working with a number of huge channels, million, over 1 million subscribers, and so forth. But they're creating very mass appeal type of content. For business owners who have a very specific niche of type of clients that they're working at, you can definitely build a channel to the point where you're bringing in ad revenue. It takes longer, but that's not what I think a lot of people wonder, is if that's like the only way you can make money on YouTube. That's one way. And, depending on your niche and your audience, it could be a short-term or a long-term strategy, but you don't really need to have a huge channel or millions of views to make money. If you create the right content, you can use it to actually bring in leads for your business, where you can sell your coaching services or consulting or, membership sites and so forth.
Well, since that has been the driving revenue source for you, let's go down that lane. And so this started grabbing attention. You started getting some more views and learning how to leverage the video better, essentially. How are you using this to get attention and drive leads?
So what we do is we create content. Our audience, our channel for our business is very YouTube centric. It's a YouTube channel about using YouTube to grow your business. So it is a very, very specific niche. And so we, unlike a lot of other YouTube gurus out there, who I think are very helpful in creating strategies and so forth for creators who just want to blow up on YouTube and get a ton of ad revenue and so forth. But what makes us different is that we really focus on that business owner. That's where our heart really is for. So we create content that helps them either get started in YouTube, because there's a lot of questions like, should I get started? How would I do that? What's the best approach? People don't want to feel overwhelmed, especially if you're a business owner. You got things to do. You got clients to see.
Yeah.
You don't have time to sit in your mom's basement downstairs all week long making videos, right? Like that's not what you do. So it needs to be systematic. It needs to be something that you can implement as part of your process, and that isn't requiring a headache. So we create content that really helps them see that this is possible, and give them tools to be able to make it easier for them. And then, depending on, we don't do this with every single video because you can't grow a channel that way also. And there's a balance when you're trying to get leads with your channel versus if you only make content that's specifically to just get leads and that's it. Yeah. You actually will get less leads because you won't trigger the algorithm to even suggest your videos to people who are searching for your content. So there's this balance of like lead gen content that you create, but then other content that can be a little bit wider in your audience, but it gets the algorithm of YouTube suggesting your other videos to them more often. So there's a little bit of an art in it, but creating both of those types of content. And then when they do find our videos that are more of our lead gen videos, we offer ways to go the next level with us. So they're not just staying on our channel. I mean, we want them to watch more videos, but there comes a point in their own process where it's like, if they're going to need to go any further and they want any more support in this, then move to that next level with us.
Yeah.
And so,
the know, like, and trust process is well in effect. How are you making that transition? Is there a call to action to go to our site and opt in, or comment below, or text us? Where are you transitioning them to where you can continue to build the relationship?
So we've been doing this for a few years, and we play around with different things and see how this works. And we try something for a time and that might work for a while. And then it's like, okay, that's kind of getting old now. Let's try something else. So there's a lot of different tactics that we've used, but the biggest ones would be, to have, one is just, if you're ready to get support or any kind of consulting, is just lead them to a work with us form where they can schedule a 15-minute call. I mean, that's, for a lot of businesses, that's like one of the best ways to do it. That's going to work for people who are truly like, we're ready now, right? Not everybody's that way. Some people do need a little more nurturing, a little bit more like, let's see how this goes. Let me try out this one thing that they did. So for those types of leads, you know, we offer, we've got a couple of different things we've done. We have like a script template that will help them know what to say without feeling like they have to memorize all their lines or have to use a teleprompter. It's just a really simple acronym that we teach that they can print out, that they can learn a little bit more about, so that anytime they create content, they can just go through those bullets every time. No, they're not going to sound salesy or slimy. It'll flow, less editing required, which is really nice, or even not at all if you're doing it live and that kind of a thing. And they do need to give us an email address to be able to give that. So it's, you know, a nice exchange. And then in our email system, that's where we do a little bit more of that nurturing, and, you know, eventually get them into either one of our coaching programs, which is more of a do-it-yourself, or for those who are really wanting to have more attention, a little more hand-holding, we have our group coaching program.
Got it. Right on. So course and group coaching.
Yeah.
And it sounds like email is kind of the more primary, like back and forth on directing.
Yes.
Does it ever lead to a phone call?
Yes, those can definitely lead to a phone call. We definitely offer that in the email. And we're doing even some audits right now. So that's one of the things we're trying is like, listen, if you have a channel, but it's not generating the leads that you're wanting, or you're getting like two-digit views on this, like schedule a 15-minute call with me. I'll go through, take a look at your channel, give you, 3 things that you can change right away. If you want to know more about our services and how we can support you in implementing that or anything else, we can go back and forth in the email or on Messenger, however way you like, and just talk more about those details. Okay, so it's definitely like a less of a pitchy call, but more of like an opportunity for me to really see where they're struggling, and if there's even, if there is a way that we can support them.
We might, it might be fun. So you mentioned the audit. I was like, we should just audit our channel right now. So maybe that's not, if you're game for that, maybe we'll circle back to that towards the end.
Okay. That'll be fun.
And it doesn't have to be a full one, obviously, but it just gives someone a taste of like, hey, like if you want more of this, like this is what the audit is. And so it'd be like, oh, like, well, what is my, are my videos right, or thumbnails or headlines, or that kind of thing. So we'll circle back to that then. Seems like you're open to it.
I want to mention there is one more thing that we're actually going to start doing. Yeah. I'm pretty excited about it. So for our live stream show, we are going to start, I think we even started it a couple weeks ago, inviting people at that next level to join our Facebook group. That really is like a community for live streamers where we can answer more questions about what they're doing, offer support, and that kind of way too. So that'll give us an opportunity to be able to get to know them a little more personally, which you can't really necessarily do as much in the comment section of a YouTube video.
Right.
And opportunities to even start conversations in Messenger, with some of the things that they're struggling with. So.
And so that makes sense to me. So like building community, I'm like, that's the piece I was wondering about. Didn't YouTube turn off comments for a second? Was this like 6 months ago, or I don't know, maybe I'm hearing things, but
I haven't seen that, although there are channels that do turn off comments, especially if you have a channel that can be controversial, and it tracks.
You're like, we know you're not going to like us, just don't. Let's just all not go there.
Or you might have an audience that might talk about things that are like, woo, you're gonna get shut down. You start talking about that kind of stuff. So I do know some people that just shut off comments for that, and that keeps their channel safe, because now people aren't talking in the comments about stuff that.
Yeah, just we don't need to go there.
Yeah.
There's one video I made, like maybe it was like 10 years ago, and I just put, so I used to work at a church. This is like 2009, so 12 years ago.
Okay.
And so I'd write, film, produce different videos, and one of them was for the childcare like department area, and so I dressed up like a giant baby. and like I was checking in and being a ridiculous giant baby with his bonnet and diaper or whatever. That video got over 500,000 views, and there was so much hate in that section. I was like, how on earth does this make people so angry? I have no idea, but I think that's what. Anyway, so you're talking about the comments. I was like, we probably should turn them off for giant baby. Apparently now people are going to like Chris giant baby are going to try to find it. I think YouTube took it down.
Interesting. Interesting.
because of like all the, anyway, hopefully that wasn't a
Oh
really
yeah,
boring.
because now if you've got kids in there too, that can happen also. But it's interesting you have that background. We helped our church out a long time ago as well with creating video. And if you ever want something to laugh about, it's still probably out there. We did this video with our pastor of our old church called The Sin Caller. And it was earlier on in our business when we were doing a lot more production. And same thing, got tons of views. And there were people who were upset too because it's a satire, but people thought it was like we were serious. And so I'm sure if you go through it, you're going to see all these people are like, I can't believe that you would put a collar on someone to stop sinning.
That's a funny concept. Yeah, now there's people going to be, trying to go. I have plenty of horrible videos that I hope no one ever finds on YouTube, including some American Ninja Warrior audition tapes. Like there's people anyway. So now people are going to be Googling all of our stuff. Yeah, I think that there's another one where I showed up as like Satan at church, and that was a video, and that one was interesting. That caught people's attention for sure. This is fun. So let's do this with some of the remaining time we have. Let's the audit that you're talking about. I really want everyone listening here. They're experienced business owners. They're real people solving real problems, and YouTube is something that we all should not ignore. Period. There's so much attention there. I know for me, while I'm leveraging Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn for like communication and chat and building lists and all that stuff, primarily Facebook, by far, YouTube steals all of my attention. Yay! Period. I'm on that app every single day looking at how do this, how do that. It sucks all my attention. And so I know that there's a lot of opportunity there for business owners, but Theresa, it's scary and it takes time, and I don't want to post a video and then maybe get a lead 3 months from now. Like it's all kind of that pain, but I know you can speak to some of that. So, hey, I'm going to share screen here again. We'll go to the Sales Ascenders, Lacking in Sales, our YouTube channel. I don't know what's about to happen. We only have 100. We just started this one not too long ago. We only have 135 subscribers, but continuing to grow. Sean has been kicking. He's like, this is all Sean. Sean is the man. And he's been working on the channel. So I'll quit talking. What's the first thing you noticed that you would audit here?
Okay, so first of all, sales ascenders, lacking in sales. Okay, I like that you're letting everyone know right away when they can come back to see your videos every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay. I think that's really good because it helps encourage people to subscribe. That there's a reason. You're not just a channel that like posts a few videos every once in a while. If they subscribe, they'll have access to this, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I like that. The background with the sales to me is a bit loud and hard. It makes it difficult to read. The side. Notice how on the side you have a link to like a Facebook. It looks like, I don't know if it's a Facebook page or a profile, but if you look on the right side of your channel banner.
Oh, right here.
Yes. Okay. So this is a really valuable tool. Now, ideally, when you're starting a channel, you really want people to stay on the channel because the longer they're watching your videos, the more it tells YouTube that people like your videos. So if you're going to send people off, and obviously as business owners, we want eventually these videos to turn our viewers into clients, I would be very, very specific, like have one place that you send them to and it be a place where they can go where it's a lead gen opportunity. It's an offer, it's a work with us form, it's a free guide, some place where they can go the next level. But if it's going to take them down another rabbit hole of just watching more of your free content and those kinds of things, don't do that. So I'm not sure what you have there. Maybe it is a Facebook group, and that's great because that would be a good next level. But people aren't going to be able to see it with that background. So I would make the background a little more simple, and I would have an actual CTA on the right-hand side of your banner that says
click
some
this.
sort of value for joining this group and an invitation to do it with a little arrow.
Okay.
The arrow that goes down, and it'll point to that Facebook link right there. So it will say something like, "Want to XYZ? Join us, here, or join our group here," something like that.
Awesome. So I'm taking notes as you're talking, so it's time well spent. So number one, update banner. So yeah, I like you're like the button over here. I'm like, what button? Like I can't even find it to prove
because of
your
that
point. So
yeah.
so over here, like click here, and that definitely goes to our Facebook group.
Mhm.
So I'll definitely write that note down. This is awesome. Thank you. I'm enjoying it.
Okay, so the next thing, lacking in sales. Okay, so obviously I know this is a sales channel, but where I think that you could be a little bit clearer in who you're talking to and what makes you different than any of those sales gurus out there would be to have a value statement a little longer than lacking in sales on that banner. Who's your, who's the industry, what industry are you more specializing in? Like lacking in sales for brick and mortar stores, for consultants, like if you were to summarize who your main niche is that you help them with their sales process, I would be very clear on who that is. So it might be something like, helping, consultants and coaches increase their sales through, and then again, some sort of way that differentiates you from the others. So if you're a no funnels guy, be clear on that. Like with no funnels, like people that hate funnels are going to be like, really? I can do it without a funnel? I want to follow this guy. If you are, you know what I mean? So whatever makes you different from the other people, maybe it's more relationship based, through relationships, whatever is that focus, I would be very clear so people know why they should follow you versus any of those other sales gurus out there in the first place. And then have that as part of your value statement.
Love it.
So that's starting at the top. And obviously that's only going to be for people who have found one of your videos, have clicked on it, have watched a minute of it, 30 seconds of it, all of it, and then said, I want to see what else this person has. And then they clicked on your channel name and then came here. So already what's going to happen is if they've gone that far, it's probably a quick, let's check this guy out. And they're going to give you, think of it kind of like a website. They're going to give it a few seconds to glance here and decide if they want to watch any more of your videos. So this introduction here to the rest of your content, I think, is really key. So let's take a look a little bit further down. You have you're using the default mode for YouTube, and the default mode for YouTube is to show your uploads, and then underneath that to show your shorts.
Okay.
What I would do is I would go into your customization element of your YouTube studio, and I would actually create some playlists. Now, I know you might say, but Theresa, you have a playlist option up above. Here's the deal. That's another click. And every single time you make someone have to click, you're going to lose people each time. So we want to make it very easy for people to see what type of content you create without having to do much clicking. So it looks like you have some playlists: sales list ascenders, sales training, stories, member spotlights, high ticket tune-ups, video podcast episodes, client stories, and promos. So I would pick a couple of ones that you think really would give a good variety of content that your audience might be interested in. And I would move them over to the homepage, and I would have them stretched out. See how these ones are all stacked? So like if you go back to the playlist, I can't see the videos you have in there. I have to click again. So now I have to go to that playlist. I have to click one more time to even see all the videos you have in that playlist. And again, every time you have someone click, you're losing people. So we want to be able to see all of the videos you have in this playlist. So if you put it on the homepage, there's an option it's like single playlist, I think is what the name of it is. So you can have every one of those videos lined up in a playlist on that homepage. I would have like 2 or 3, probably around like some of your major pillars. But make sure that the names are very audience-centric. I see a lot of entrepreneurs make it very my channel-centric. So it's like my podcast, my speeches, So what? What's the value of watching your speeches? What's the value of listening to your podcast? What's the value in any of this? I changed the playlist name to some sort of value statement. I've seen some successful ones be as simple as brand new to whatever that industry is, start here. That's the name of the playlist. But now they know, okay, I should go through this series of videos if I'm brand new to this industry, and they're telling me to start here, so I'm going to start here. So change those playlists to some sort of value statement for those playlists, and lay them out so that someone can look right across the screen and be able to see at least the first 6 videos in that series to decide if it's even something that would interest them. The next thing that I noticed, and we don't see it on the screen, but one of the things is I noticed that Chris does a really, really good job with his thumbnails. And that is so valuable because I don't think a lot of people recognize this, but your thumbnail is just as important as the video itself. You can have the best video in the world, but if you don't have a thumbnail that's clickable, that really shows the context of what you're talking about, the hero in the video. So if you're the talking head in the video and you're the one that's giving all the insight, your face there so they can see you and already kind of get to know you a little bit before they even listen to you. And some sort of catchy, intriguing, simple, not too long words on that thumbnail. And sometimes you don't even need to have it. If the visual context is clear enough, the words you don't even need it because they have a title that they can read underneath that. So you do a great job with that. And so keep that up because that part I think is really essential. I didn't get a chance to look over at your title to see how you're titling everything. I'd be interested to see how you're doing it. A lot of entrepreneurs do not use their thumbnails right. Like it's these tiny little, like tons of words and like the picture's really small. And most of the time people are watching this stuff on their phones. And so if you can't see it really clearly on your phone, it's going to be very difficult to even see if it's click worthy. And what I was saying was like your thumbnail and your title is just as important of your video. You can have the best video in the world, but if your thumbnail and your title is not clickable, no one's going to watch it. So you really don't want to make those an afterthought. You want to put as much thought into the thumbnail, into the video title as you do into the video itself. And so I think you guys do a great job at that. You guys have the hero shot. You guys have, if you want to go to your homepage, because the playlist stacking is a little bit more of a challenge to see the thumbnails, but I'll show you what you're doing well.
Yeah.
You have a nice big picture of whoever's talking so that already I not click on a video and then get introduced to this person that I don't know and then it's awkward. So it's kind of like by having your face on that thumbnail at first, it's a nice little like test your introduction so that when they click that video and then they start watching it, they already are like, okay, I recognize that person. It's not a shocker to them. So that helps. And then you have your words nice and big, which is good. I think the one on the very far right with that blue screen might be a little bit of a challenge, but otherwise the words seem like they're, you know, decent size that you can actually read them. What I might include more of is instead of these sales in the background, I mean, that could work for some of them, is I was sharing is you really want 3 ingredients in your thumbnail. You want to have some context to whatever it is that you're talking about, the hero shot of whoever is talking, you know, whoever's the talking head, and then some sort of intriguing words that complement the title. If you don't want it the same as the title, it should complement it. Because it's going to be that first glance, they're going to see that thumbnail first, then they'll look down at the title and they'll look at the title for more information. And so that's where they can go and go, okay, between the thumbnail and the title, I'm ready, and they'll be ready to click. Let's take a look at your titles. You have sales techniques. They say I already have a coach. Sales techniques, how to use references. Okay, what I would do if I were you is I would flip what you're doing. So have the question, like the how to use references, the how to create a main, you know, all of that, have that up front, and then it be the dash sales techniques. And that way they can see the specific thing that you're talking about right away. And then secondary go, oh, this is a sales technique. You can also, you know, include some visuals on that thumbnail so that they already see that it's a sales technique, and then it may not be as necessary. If that's a keyword that you're trying to rank for because it's a high rankable keyword, then definitely keep it in the title.
Okay.
Are you doing anything like that? Like, are you doing keyword research to, you know, find high rankable titles to?
I don't want to say the wrong thing. I believe so. Sean, I know I believe he's using vidIQ. He's definitely, he'd probably say, yes, Chris, I'm sure he's doing, like, I know he's thinking about it for sure.
Sure.
I just don't know exactly what he's doing.
Tools. Like vidIQ is one of those tools. We're a TubeBuddy fan ourselves, and so we use their tools a lot. But yeah, and I'm not sure if he's trying to rank for sales techniques or if it's more of the how to use references, and then he added the sales techniques. So that's something that you'd have to look on the back end. But either way, I would flip it. I would definitely flip it. And then I think that's all I can say for now. I think we covered a lot, right? We have the playlist, we have your thumbnails, and then we have the title strategy that we were discussing.
Thank you so much for just on the spot being willing to jump in and play. And yes, there's a ton of value here. I've got at least 6 bullet points over here to now bring to Sean and the team and implement and go to work. One of them being this button I can't see. So thank you so much for doing that audit with us. Yes. Hey, if people, business owners, sales ascenders, if you're leaning into this conversation, Theresa is a great contact. Her and her husband, their whole team, this is their power zone, their sandbox that they build amazing sandcastles in. Hey, if they're leaning in, they want more of this, where's the best place to find you, Theresa?
Well, we have, you can just even, go to the videomarketingschool.com. That's our, our main website where we kind of direct you to all sorts of resources that you can go to. If you're thinking about starting YouTube and you'd like a little bit of guidance and like, what video should I create? And, what should I say? And those types of things. We do have a guide that you can download. And I think it's a great place to start because I think it really addresses a lot of those like foundational bottlenecks that stop people from even doing any of it. It's, so it'll address all of that. And then once you've gone through that guide and you've really got a clear picture of, okay, this is what I want to do. And this is how I can say it. Okay, I don't have to be afraid. Oh, we tell you what kind of gear to get. It can be very simple. Like you don't need to get a DSLR. Like you don't need any of that. You can, if you're a techie and you love that stuff, great. But if that's a bottleneck for you, don't worry about it, right? And so we give you some examples of like some basic gear and that kind of a thing. And then if you want to get more, support as you start implementing, on that guide, we also give you a couple of different options and some links that you can click to learn more about the ways that we can support you too. So I think you can go to, I have like a Rebrandly link. If you don't know about Rebrandly, it's awesome. So owenvideo.com/guide.
Perfect. owenvideo.com/guide.
Yes,
and I know
my husband, and he's pretty much like the big face of our company, which is, in case you didn't know his name, that's his name, Owen Video.
Owen Video, perfect. Yes, and you're behind the scenes making it all run, and I know like starting to be in front of the scenes in multiple different shows now, including your own. Actually, please let's give a shout out to the show now for all ladies. Attention, ladies. This is. And maybe men, I don't know. But you're mostly targeting ladies with your new show. Tell us about it a little bit.
Yeah, it's mostly ladies. But I've been behind the scenes of this company for the last 4 years as the head of business development. But as I've gotten more accustomed to the whole industry and really learning and so forth, I've becoming more confident, I think, in being on camera myself and being able to share a lot of what I know. And so that has led to a number of opportunities. And since I've moved out here, Utah has got a huge YouTube community out here. There's just so many YouTubers out here. It's amazing. So when I came out here, I became introduced to a couple of women. One who had a heart really to start a talk show. And so we were talking about it. We met with a couple of other women. And we decided to launch it. So it's called The Brave Talk Show. We launched it about 3 months ago. And you can, search it right here in YouTube, or you can look us up on Instagram and Facebook to just get the more social side of it. But the show is on YouTube, and it's definitely primary focus would be women, probably 25 to 45. We're all married with kids. So, typically, whatever you are, like, you're going to attract people that are like you. So most women that like us are also married women with kids. It's most of the time. We'll get a few others that are outside of that. But yeah, you just showed it right there. So we just started it. As you can see, it's been a great show so far. We've already got about 700 subscribers. We just aired our 9th episode. And we're almost at monetization levels. I'm really excited about it, which is you need 1,000 subscribers and you need 4,000 hours of watch time per month. We're like at 3,500 watch time.
You're right there.
Yeah.
You're right there.
700. So if this interests you, we really much, the purpose of the show is to actually have brave conversations about things that we don't really get to talk about much these days because we're so divided and polarized. And so this gives us a safe place to talk about the real concerns that women have in our marriage, in our parenting, in our personal lives, all of that. And our goal really is to be able to be authentic and to show that we can have differing opinions and different perspectives, and we can still be friends and we can still connect with one another. So it's a very powerful show.
That's awesome. The Brave Talk Show. You can check it out on YouTube. Theresa, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us, our audience today, and doing the audit. That was an extra little fun bonus. So
Yeah.
is there any, just kind of in closing here, is there any last words, thoughts, comments that you'd encourage other fellow business owners to think about, challenge them with regarding YouTube?
Sure. I would definitely say if you're not on YouTube, you're really missing out. YouTube will give you the opportunity to break out of your network and to really be able to reach people who've never heard of you, who are not on Facebook, who are not on LinkedIn, and they might be, but it's so hard to find the content that you're looking at. Those are not platforms that are really good for searchable types of content or like people looking for video content. It's a platform that really people go to. It's the second biggest search engine for a reason. So it's a whole other market out there that you can break. I don't think that you should replace. I think that social media plus YouTube is a really powerful combination, and not to be confused with one another. YouTube is not another type of social media. It is not. I would see it more as a search engine, more as a Netflix, but not social media. So combining it together, and it's also a really powerful way long-term, like for evergreen types of content, that's the best place for it.
Awesome. Theresa, thank you so much and for joining us. Thank you, Sales Ascender, for continuing to follow us. We'll be back next week. As you know, we're talking with real, talented other entrepreneurs. They're solving real problems also for other real people, and they're on the front lines with real answers. Like, there's no BS. These are people actually living, breathing, doing the thing, and you'll continue to get more content just like that here on the Spotlight. Thank you. Have a great rest of your week and weekend. We'll see you.